You're either the mom who repeat forgets the noodles, makeshifts them last minute, and then laughs at the ridiculousness of it all. Or you're the mom who would never forget and finds it appalling that someone might. This is the podcast for you forgetful moms.
This is Girl Same with your host, Brittinie. Girl. Girl Same.
Hi guys, this is the first official episode of Girl Same. I'm Brittinie, your host, and I'm having a drink and just hanging out, having a girls' night with you. This first episode will be just me introducing myself, but future episodes, most of the time, I will have guests on. But for tonight, I would like you to get to know me, and I hope you'll find me on our socials at Girl Same, the podcast, and tell me about yourself so I can get to know you too. Okay, let me tell you about this podcast. This is going to be our girls' night. Maybe you already have a girl group. Well, here's an opportunity to expand it. But if you don't, if you've lost touch with friends over the years, if you're new to the area you're in and just haven't met people yet, if you've lost some friends as you became a mom or started a career, or maybe, you just took a different path than everyone else around you, I hope that you can find that friendship here through this podcast. The relatability, the fun, the silliness that you really only get with your girlfriends. These past few years especially have been so incredibly isolating, and especially as a mother. But I think that just really resonates with everyone. And that's why I want us to get to know each other. Every woman deserves a girls' night. So let me introduce myself. This is going to be a basic overview of who I am and what you can expect for this podcast. Let's start with the basics. I am 36. I am a mom to 3. I have been with my husband for 20 years, married 10, but together for 20. We met at a gas station in Illinois. It's actually a hilarious story. I'm sure I will be sharing at some point. We have been together for 20 years. We did take a little bit of a break when we were dating, but other than that, we've been in a relationship for 20 fucking years. That is never going to stop blowing my mind. That's just such a huge number. It hasn't always been, sunshine and roses and all that. We have been together for a long time, but, we definitely hit some rough patches over the years. And about 2 years into our marriage, I honestly didn't know if we were even going to make it. So we've definitely had some highs and some lows, but we've worked really hard to create a healthy relationship. And right now things are going really well. After we got married, we moved from Illinois to California for a job opportunity for my husband. And we moved out there knowing basically no one. Aside from my husband had some family out there, but he hadn't really spoken much with them prior to us moving there. And aside from that, we really knew no one, no friends. It was incredibly lonely for a while. I did eventually make a few friends. One of them ended up being one of my absolute best friends, but that relationship really didn't even happen until we were moving out of California. So the entire 6 years I was in California, I never really had that tribe or that group of women to surround me and like be there for me and help out when I needed it. And when we decided to start a family, it became more clear how isolated we were and how much we could have really used that help. When we did start a family, we did it, I guess, the non-traditional way. We adopted all 3 of our kids. When we made the decision to start a family, my husband really wanted to try and have our own biological children. I come from a family with a lot of adoption in it, and I just have always wanted to adopt. It's been something that I've thought about since I was a kid, and I just never had much desire to carry my own children, which is surprising to a lot of people when I tell them that, but I really didn't. We'll definitely talk about this more in future episodes because there's so much stigma around adoption. Lots to talk about there. But anyway, my husband and I decided we would try and get pregnant while also working towards getting our foster to adopt license. And then the idea was that, whatever happened, and we would make decisions based off of what happened first. While it took us about a few months just to get fully licensed, and then less than a week from getting licensed, we got a call for our now daughter. And we actually got a call the day after being licensed. It really moves so quickly, but that one didn't work out. And so since we were placed with our now daughter so quickly, we really started just focus on being parents or foster parents to her, because a year later, we were then placed with our first son. And then 1 year later, we were placed with our second son. So it just went really fast. And then when the kids were a little bit older, we really started to feel the weight of that isolation. And we talked about moving potentially back home to the Midwest so we could have some, of our friends and family around us and have that support. But one of the things my husband and I really wanted to do for a long time was to travel. And this was around the time where it was like pre-TikTok, and it was when all the YouTubers were making this stuff about renovating fifth wheels and RVs and traveling across the country. And we wanted to do that so bad. Everything just fell into place to make that happen. And so we took advantage and we got a camper. The kids were 4, 5, and 6. We bought a fifth wheel and we gutted it. We remodeled it into like a mini house, mini home. We sold our 2,600 square foot house. So we had a lot of crap in that house we had to get rid of. We brought all that crap down to one pod that we stored. So everything else in the house we sold or donated, and we got everything into one pod. It was very stuffed and we almost couldn't shut the door, but we were able to get it into the one. We just held that in storage while we traveled. And the traveling, I loved it. I loved it in a lot of ways, but on this podcast, we're going to be really real. It was also very, very difficult. Our first trip, our truck caught on fire. We were going to Yosemite and we were going up the mountain and the truck legit caught on fire. This is maybe we've been driving entirety of our trip. We had been driving like an hour when this happened. We got stuck in the mud at like 2:00 in the morning. And I mean like 6 inches of mud. It was ridiculous. We argued over a lot of things just from the stress of it all. It was very stressful. And, so you start bickering a lot. But while we were moving in general, it was an amazing experience that we got to do and see things we probably never would have otherwise. However, when we were traveling, eventually the pandemic hit and the campgrounds basically shut down. We went from traveling in a camper to living in one as a family of 5. And let me tell you, that is a very, very different experience. I have lots and lots of stories I hope to share from our time traveling. So I will definitely be talking about that in the future. And that's how we got here. I'm in a place where I have solid local friendships. I finally have friends who actually offer to watch my kids and who bring us soup when we're sick. And not everybody has that. I didn't for many, many, many years. But what I also have and what I think helps me the most, I have friends who can relate to my chaos. Friends who listen without judgment. Girlfriends who just get it, get me, get my life. It's comfortable. We all need that, because I'm a mess. We're all a bit of a mess. Or, if you're not, you're probably listening to the wrong podcast. If you've got everything figured out, then this isn't the girl group for you, because I'm not perfect. And this podcast is for the other women who are not perfect. I'm probably a bit too sarcastic. I'm always late. I used to be on time. I don't even know how I manage that, because honestly, I'm just late to everything. I'm always late. I am always the last to know about school related everything, basically. Library books missing, dentist appointments past due, school events. I am always surprised by these at the very last minute. So if this is stuff that you feel like you can relate to, then this is the girl group for you. I think a good way to decide if this is the right group for you is by telling you about a TikTok I made. All of us, my whole family, me, my husband, and our 3 kids, are all July babies. It's a really, really busy month for us. We throw a huge party for the kids, and then we do special things to celebrate them on their own individual actual birthdays, so they have a cake and they get to pick out decorations and they get to open their gifts from us. And then one of the special traditions we do is they get to pick what we eat for the day, for the 3 meals. My youngest son, Miles, asked for long pasta noodles for dinner on his birthday. And I thought we had them. So I told him that was fine, but of course we didn't. And so he got to pick something else, and I told him I would get the noodles, and he was fine with that. Well, first they canceled them in my pickup order, and then they ran out of time, or I ran out of time, and I couldn't stop at the store. Then I went to the store, and I totally fucking forgot them. By this time, it had been a week, and I honestly just felt like really terrible. I realized we had lasagna noodles. And so I cooked them and I cut them into long noodles. And I would just like to clarify, this was not an easy task, okay? The noodles kept sticking to the knife and it was just a pain in the ass, actually. Anyway, I took a video of what and why I was doing this because I thought it was hilarious, the things you do for your kids, right? I posted it on TikTok. And I woke up the next day to a bunch of hate comments. My first hate comments. I've never received hate comments on TikTok or really any other platform. And so I was so shocked by it. People told me that by doing what I did, I was traumatizing my kids. They said I don't care about them. I'm a horrible mom. I'm causing lifelong damage. Someone even said, how are you going to adopt kids and not even know when their birthday is? Huh? I could not believe the response. Like, these were not my people. The point of me telling you this TikTok story is that you're either the mom who forgets the noodles, makeshifts them last minute, and then laughs at the ridiculousness of it all. Or you're the mom who would never forget and finds it appalling that someone might. This is the podcast for you forgetful moms. We don't judge you for forgetting one of the 10 million things you're expected to remember. Here, we just see a mom who's doing her best, and we're here to laugh along with you. And that's really where this whole podcast stems from, is that idea of women supporting women. I'm a part of a volunteer group called Hot Mess Express. We are a group of women who help other women struggling with clutter and mess in their homes. Sometimes the mess builds to a point you just don't even know where to start. And this can be like from mental health issues, family emergencies come up, just the chaos and stress of everyday life. It happens. It happens to us all at some point. And the creator of the group, her name is Jen Hamilton. She saw the need for so many of us struggling with this, but not having the help. That's something I dealt with when I was in California. I did not have that support. I didn't have the help. So I just related to it instantly when I heard about it. And even if the help is potentially there for these women, maybe you can afford to hire a service, or maybe you have family you could technically ask to come help. They're too ashamed. We're too ashamed and fear the judgment. But with our group, there is no judgment. We've been there. We get it. Life is hard. Let us help you. Simple as that. Through Hot Mess, I've met amazing women. So many have become friends. And that's where the idea of this podcast came from. These are my people. The idea of women just being there for other women without the judgment, a safe place to breathe, to feel heard and understood. I love this concept so much. And I want to share some of the stories from Hot Mess. And I hope and I think you'll be able to relate so that you can take some of that pressure off of you and be reassured that you're doing your best and that you are enough. Some of the topics you can expect to hear on this podcast are going to be about being a woman in this time, being a mom in this time. We're going to talk about traditional versus modern marriage roles, parenting roles, raising kids through and after divorce. I definitely want to touch on adoption and foster care because that's something that is so close to my heart, and so much more. To be a part of the conversations, find me on my socials at Girl Same the podcast. I will have questions and opportunities for you to share your answers, your stories, your opinions, all of that, so you can be a part of our girls' night. I'm so excited for this podcast, and I'm so genuinely excited to get to know you and to hear your stories and get your opinions on the topics we're discussing. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you at the next girls' night. Bye.
Girl, 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 same.